Hi there, this is Glen Young with Miyar Adventures, and we're out on Mount Baker. Recently I've been having a lot of questions about what to wear when you're on the mountain, and so I thought I'd put together a little video while I'm out here about what I'm wearing out here. So first we'll take a look at what I have on me. I have two sun hoodies on me because on Mount Baker in July it can be pretty warm and sun protection is really important. I'll get into that in a moment. Right on the very base layer that I have down here, I have an Outdoor Research Echo short sleeve shirt. It's a t-shirt that's very lightweight. It breathes really well, so especially on the approach up the trail, it can be in the 80s. It's important that you have a short sleeve shirt. I also have a pair of shorts, and as a gentleman, that's actually what I wear instead of underwear, is a pair of shorts. And so then I'm not carrying extra pieces of clothing. Then I have another Outdoor Research product. This is another type of sun hoodie. It's an ultralight sun hoodie. It's also in the Echo series. It's an Echo long-sleeved hoodie. Extremely lightweight, weighs less than a lot of t-shirts. And then over the top of that, I have another sun shirt. This also has some thermal properties. So it has a very mild grid fleece inner, and this is made by Marmot. Also, it can vent really well, which is nice if temperatures are changing and you don't have time to stop when you're hiking up the mountain. Okay, and all of that works together to go over the top of my hat. I find this is much more effective than having a hat that has a piece of material down the back, which actually just blows around in the wind, so it doesn't provide very good sun protection. And because it acts as a sail, it's more likely that you'll lose your hat. This hat that I'm wearing doesn't really matter what type of ball cap you wear. I like this one. This is made by Arc'teryx. It's a light color, so it reflects heat pretty well. It has a dark underbrim, and it packs down very small. It's also extremely lightweight, which is a consideration for these types of adventures. On my bottom, I have another light color. Again, that's for the sun. This is the Marmot Screet Pant. Outdoor Research makes some really good soft shell pants that also have a great inner instep that protects from crampon kicks and will prolong the life of the pant and are quite durable. This works for my purposes. The other thing I'm looking for in a pant, other than durability and a soft shell material, which is somewhat water repellent and stretchy so it moves when I move, is I'm looking for pockets. Ideally at least 3 usable pockets. So there are 2 which I can access by unclipping part of my harness here, one here and one here, and there's one thigh zip which I never have to unclip anything in order to access. And those are important because sunscreen will stay in one pocket. Okay, so I always have a tube of sunscreen. This particular sunscreen is at least 16% zinc or titanium, titanium or zinc oxide. That's a physical barrier and that's effective for high elevation. And I'll also always be carrying a couple other items in my pocket that are for sun protection. One is a zinc oxide stick, and I'll put that on my nose and on my cheeks, and I'll leave it there so it shines white, because a lot of times sunscreen rubbing in it isn't good protection. And this is 50 SPF lip balm, which I apply about every hour when the sun is out. Super important when you're out here. Okay, other items that I'm not wearing because it's too warm. I have my semi-automatic crampons. I prefer semi-automatics because they hold fairly tight and securely, and they're unlikely to pop off suddenly like a full automatic crampon will. They're a little bit faster to put on than a strap crampon, but any of those crampons will work. Keep in mind, if you have semi-automatic crampons, you must have a boot that has a toe welt, which is an in-cut at the toe. If you have full automatic, you need a toe and a heel welt, which most alpine boots have. This particular brand of alpine boot is a Solewa boot. It fits my foot well, and that's the most important thing, is that it fits you well and it's going to be warm enough for the conditions that you encounter. Mount Baker or Mount Rainier, this boot will work just fine. Mount Baker, you can get away with a lighter weight boot that's not as warm. Then we have gaiters. Gaiters are optional but highly recommended, especially for beginning mountaineers. They increase the warmth of your foot layering system, but more importantly for many people, they protect from crampon punctures. They keep your pant tucked in around your leg, so if you accidentally bring your foot across and snag, you're not going to destroy the very nice pants that you have. Speaking of very nice pants, the next layer that I'll wear when it's cooler, a lot of times on the way to the summit or if there's wind, is a Gore-Tex full side zip over pant. This one is a Mentor pant by Outdoor Research. Really great pants. It's one of the few pants that you can find that has full side zip and has external pockets. So this has a thigh pocket so I can stash things like energy bars in there, so I don't have to stop for a long break and take off my backpack to get food out. Next up, my next layer is a hybrid garment by Marmot. It has a fleece, it's a Polartec fleece, and then a synthetically insulated chest that adds warmth toward the chest but allows a lot of breathability otherwise, so when you're working hard uphill, it still spills a lot of that water vapor that you're producing as you're moving. And then I have a synthetically insulated lightweight puffy jacket made by Rab. This also can shed water, and if it's raining outside or snowing outside and you were wearing this and it gets wet, over time it will still dry. It's not ideal to have this exposed to precipitation for a long time, but it performs much better than down, though it is heavier than down for the size jacket that it is. Over all of that, I have a Paclite Gore-Tex Outdoor Research product. The nice thing about this jacket is that it has really great ventilation. So there's a full side zip all the way down the side, because one of the big drawbacks to hard shells is once you start wearing them and you start to heat up, all that vapor that's produced by cellular respiration gets trapped, and then it wets out your layers and you feel sweaty. So this allows that to spill out very effectively, and for you to cool off when you're working hard going uphill. Also works really well in the rain or in heavy snow. For handwear, I have Outdoor Research Luminary gloves. They have really excellent dexterity and they have good durability with a leather palm. They also have a long fleecy inner that keeps my hands surprisingly warm for the weight that they are, and the dexterity allows me to tie prusik hitches, fasten crampons, and other jobs. My next layer of handwear is an Outdoor Research over mitten that's made out of a water-resistant or highly waterproof nylon and a durable palm, and that's really great in the wind. It's great for trapping heat in your hand, and of course it's really good in precipitation or if you're practicing self-arrest in the snow and you want to keep your hands dry through the day. I usually include one hand warmer. I also oftentimes recommend one foot warmer, and that's for the night before the summit, and then these hand warmers will go in on summit day. Once we get up to higher elevations, especially if it's windy, you get quite cold. A pair of sunglasses. Really recommend getting the darkest pair that you can. Julbo makes great pairs of Spectron 4 as the type of lens that's specifically made for travel on snow in an alpine high elevation environment. These are also a Julbo product with camo lenses, and they're photochromatic, which means if we're starting out in the early morning, the lenses lighten so I can see quite clearly. In storm conditions, the lenses lighten so I can see clearly. And then as the sun comes out and the day heats up, the lenses darken to blot out more of the UV light. I have a buff. The buff can come from any company. Outdoor Research makes a couple great buffs now that are very light colored. Again, I recommend a lighter color for the sun. Very simple hat. This one is made by Mountain Hardwear. It's just made out of micro fleece. Fits my head really well. And important with any hat that you decide to use is that it doesn't have any extra material on the top like a ball, so it's going to fit smoothly and cleanly underneath your climbing helmet. Only one hat is necessary because I have a series of hoods. I have 1, 2, and 3 hoods with my puffy jacket, which is sufficient for keeping my ears warm and blocking wind. I have a Petzl headlamp. This happens to be the Mayo model. I think it's 270 lumens. It's pretty common to be able to find 300 lumen lights that are quite affordable now. This has a larger battery pack, which I like because it actually holds a charge a lot longer than some other models that might be lighter weight. So that's important for me as a guide because I might not be out here for a long time. For most people, they can get away with a lighter weight model with fewer batteries, but do remember to bring extra batteries. If your headlamp goes out, it means you're not going to be able to see for the rest of the trip. You may even consider bringing an extra headlamp, a very small, efficient model, just in case that were to happen, but a spare set of batteries and a good headlamp goes a long way. Minimum of 200 lumens now. Used to be 100 lumens was our old standard, minimum of 200 lumens. And then finally, helmet. Any helmet that's rated for rock climbing, alpine climbing, or ski mountaineering will work. This one just happens to be a lightweight Petzl model. Some types of helmets, like this one, have foam on the inside. Keep in mind if you decide to get one of these models, They're more breakable. They can crack a little easily inside of a backpack, especially if you're in the habit of sitting on your backpack. So keep in mind where that is and treat your backpack carefully if you decided to pack it inside. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this answers some of your questions about what to wear when you're out on a glacier. And just to be clear, this is for warmer weather mountaineering on Mount Baker. If you're going to higher elevation or on a colder peak like Mount Rainier or going on an international trip, you may need an extra puffy jacket. You may need bigger handwear or warmer boots. But stay tuned and take a look for more information on the FAQs of our website. Thanks a lot for watching.